Would you like to see how I customize my Gramercy cart? Come on in. Hello, welcome to Senior Susie Stamps, and today I'd like to show you how I organize my Gramercy cart. I got this several years ago at Michael's, and it has become very, very useful to me the way I have it set up now. So come on and let me show you. I have tried to not put a lot of money in this cart. These little bins here I did buy from Amazon, and I will try to find a link for those. I've had them for a couple of years. I keep my current project inks here. This is my glitter glue. I have all of my embellishments here based by color. These are just recycled clamshells from Stampin' Up. These are some stamp cases from Stampin' Up as well. I also have an industrial tape dispenser, and today I want to show you how I fix these little plastic containers that I got from the Dollar Tree, because they really help a lot. Let me turn this around and show you how they are. They fit that area beautifully, and you can see I have my current use items all readily available to finish cards, and I want to show you on this one how I make this little unit right here so easy and workable. Now on this end of the cart I have my final use pens, which is my Wink of Stella, the gray pens, any of my jelly rolls, those kinds of things that you use at the last minute. I also have some magnetic containers, and I'm going to show you on these. The magnetics on the back, of course. I got these that were in a package of 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and I had to fix the lids because some of the lids are a little bit loose, but you can see I have a lot of final embellishments there. This is a leaf punch that I use frequently, and 2 small circle punches. I change these out depending upon the project I'm working. In here I have some magnetic word dies that I found on eBay a couple of years ago, and they work very well when you just need a single word stamp for some project. I have my spatter box, and in here is my stencil box that you've probably seen the video of before. And this back side I leave blank because I keep my Gramercy carts underneath this table that I have up on risers, and they slide right up underneath there. See how nicely they fit up underneath there? And they'll both fit side by side as long as you don't have a lot of stuff on either end. And so I keep one end completely free. Now there are 2 types of attachments that we're going to look at today. This is the first one. It has the hooks on the outside for hanging things. And these both have these little slip over hooks here and here. And they go on these little attachments that come with the cart. But now in order to adjust these so that these little trays from the Dollar Tree or Walmart will fit, and these are, I don't know if you can see that or not, 13.5 by 3 3/4 by 2 inch drawer organizer. You can tell that this would just fall right through here, and on this side it'll just fall right off. So what we're going to do is to stabilize these, and what I'm going to use is some of these what I call bag ties. Some people call them zip ties, and you feed them through this little clip, and you can see there's a little tooth, and so on one side is smooth and on the other side is little teeth, and you have to feed these in. And for this one we're going to put 2 of them together. Did you hear that? And then we're going to slip them around here like this. Before I tighten this up, you can see I've got these around that lower edge there, and then we're going to put them together. And what I want to try to do is get these little fastener parts pulled down underneath where it won't grab at you a little bit. And then you just tighten these up as tight as you can without bending the wire here. There you go. And then you can take your scissors and just cut that off, right like that. This is kind of a noisy process, and I'm sorry I couldn't figure out another way to do it and still show you. So let's do that again for the other side. I'm going to feed it in until you hear it start clicking, and then I'm going to put it around the bottom part here and feed it back through. And you may want to tighten it up a little bit on both sides and try to get your little fasteners on the bottom if you can. And if you don't, that's all right. It's not going to affect anything. There. And then we're just going to cut these long pieces off with our scissors. And then this one is ready to go back on the cart. And this little container then will slip right down in there. See how nicely that fits? It makes this much more usable than just having this big open cavern there. There. Now on the other one, this one's made totally differently. It has a little removable thing where you can put paper towels and you can put your rolls of stuff on there. I don't ever use that. I decided I would adjust it to be a little bit more usable for me. And the only way I could figure out to do that is to bag tie or cable tie this little thing to this back bar back here with one of those little ties. So I marked the center here, and then I took my crocodile and worked it up in there. And you know, the crocodile's got a big hole. There's the small one, but this is a big one, and you have to use the larger one. And then I just worked that up in there. You have to kind of hold your tongue just right. But it will work. And then I punched my hole. Just right like that. And if your bag tie won't go through, then just punch it again. It'll be all right. It's not a big deal. It's going to be covered up with stuff anyway. So then I put my little container on there, and I wrap my bag tie around this top bar here, right like that, and bring it together. And on this one for sure, you want to pull it to where this is on the back, because you don't want to snag your fingers on that, and then cut it off. Now, for my everyday use items, like this embossing powder, I keep them in their own tray so I can pull the whole tray out, and then I store them like this on my cart. The thing that I wanted to show you today is about these little magnetic containers that I get. They're 2 for $1 from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes these magnets are not strong enough to hold on to the enamel cart, and if that's the case, you can peel these off and put a new magnet on. But usually what I find is that the lids are not tight enough to really hold on well, and you dump your stuff out all over the place trying to get your little, see, there's just not enough friction there to hold that lid on. So let me show you how I fix that. It's very easy to do. You take a little piece of scrap paper cardstock, and I just cut it about like that. So that's probably 1/4 of an inch, and this is probably, oh, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch long. So I would say 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch long and 1/4 of an inch wide. And then I put glue on it, and I put it on the inside of the lid against the edge. And I hold it for just a second to let that glue start getting tacky. And then I put the thing together and let it dry up. So let's do it again. It's very simple. And it makes these so much more useful. If you find that this length of paper makes it too hard to get these off, then just shorten them up. It's all right. It doesn't take but a second to do it, and you can peel them off if they're too tight and redo them. So then you just take your lid and put it over there against the sidewall and against the top, not this part, but it's against up here. See down in there. And then you put your container back together and let it dry that way. Now, this one's probably dry, but you see how much more tightened up that is? Well, if you pulled this off your cart, everything wouldn't go flying all over the floor like this. Believe me, I've had that happen to me so many times, and this little trick really saves the day for that. So I hope this has helped, and if you have any questions about my cart, please leave them in the comments. If you want to see close-up pictures, I'll be happy to post them over on our Facebook page. So you can see how that little roll of Teflon slips right in there on top of these little hooks here. The hooks are still usable, but that's where I keep this. And that's the little spot there where I keep the Love from Lizzie stuff. And then I've got my embossing powders, both of them right here. And see how nice that works? And then over here, I just added those little guys, and they're good to go. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.